What's up, everyone? I want to do a new review today of a camera that I just got. It's newly released, the DJI Nano. Comes in a 64 gigabyte and a 128 gigabyte version. I have the 128 gigabyte version. The 128 gigabyte version comes in at a retail cost of $329 US, and the 64 gigabyte version is $299. What comes with it are the main camera unit, what they call the Vision Pod, a protective case for a protective plastic case for the main camera unit. There's a lanyard, a magnetic lanyard. There is a suction cup that attaches actually to this ball mount, this multi-directional ball mount, and this has a magnetic connection, as well as finally but this is a hat clip that goes onto your hat. This is another magnetic mount. And then lastly, there is a USB-C to USB-C cable that is included. Here we have the two main components of this camera system. The first one is the main camera body, and this is that Vision Pod. So on the main camera, you have your one single button on the top of it, and this is used to start and stop recording as well as power it on. There's a removable lens right here that you can twist on and off. This is not a removable lens, but a removable lens cap. And then on the other side here, you have the two latches for the magnetic connection, the quick connection onto the connector here. And here you have the little contacts that are this is what actually does the transferring of the data as well as charging the camera itself. And then here you have the logo, the DJI logo here. As you can see, the material on this is somewhat transparent, so you can kind of see inside of the camera a little bit, which is kind of neat. The backside of this camera is magnetic, fully magnetic, so this is what you would use to be attaching to the lanyard when you stick it on and you're using a lanyard. But you can also stick this onto anything that's metallic. It is magnetic on the backside, but it is also magnetic on the one other side as well. So you can actually stick this onto something sideways like that. All right, now let's move on to the Vision Dock or Vision Pod. This is the Vision Dock, and you can see here it has the clamps here. There are two on either side, two buttons that you use to open and close that, and you can see it connects like that, and then you push those two latches and it pulls the latches apart and you can click it back in. Okay, now moving on to the rest of the Vision Dock. You've got one button on the side here, and this button is to power the unit on and off. And then here you have the OLED screen, touch screen. And then on the other side, you have your door where there is the USB-C port for charging and also for transferring files. And then there's also a small slit there, which is where you will insert the micro SD card. The main camera unit, when it's separated, this is waterproof to up to 10 meters. So you can fully submerge this camera unit into the water. Now the Vision Dock is not. It is IPX4, I believe, and that is just splash proof, so it's not meant to be submerged underwater. In this first example, Olena went out for a walk in the morning, so there's plenty of sunshine. This is basically the setting straight out of the box. Pro setting is turned off, so we have 4K 30 frames per second, horizon balance with the stabilization set to daily. As for the color profile, I'm unsure whether it is 10 or 8-bit. Of a restaurant right now.
I get it closer.
Yeah, you could probably hear much better. I think it's good to set it that far. But we're inside of a restaurant right now, and it's pretty loud in here. There's a lot of stuff going on, a lot of people talking, and then there's a lot of like music and TVs. So how well does it sound? For the rest of the video samples, I turned on the Pro setting and switched the color profile to 10-bit normal. All other settings remain the same, 4K 30 frames per second with horizon balance. Other than that, everything else is on auto. In these shots, we test the limits of the camera at the end of the day with the sun slowly going down. Connected the DJI wireless mic mini, and I'm wearing it, but Olena's not wearing one.
This is the sound difference. I don't have a microphone. I'll just have it. I just came a little bit over so your mic don't pick up my voice.
Yeah.
This is how it sounds without the microphone.
And this is what it sounds. This is what it sounds with the microphone. So how does it sound? There's like a lot of cars driving by. There's quite a bit of noise going on around us. So how do I sound? Do I sound really clear? It's probably like 7:45-ish, and we're under a bunch of trees, walking down a path. Yeah, I don't have it on the SuperNight Mode yet. I'll switch over to the SuperNight Mode, and then you can see what it's like. Okay, just switched over to the SuperNight Mode.
At the same time, the same light condition. Is there any difference?
How does it look? Can you tell if there's any difference? So I've seen some video reviews where people talk about how they actually prefer the regular mode versus the SuperNight Mode, because I think the SuperNight Mode, it does some sort of like AI magic within the camera to make the video look brighter or help it in darker conditions. Here, the sun has pretty much all but gone completely down, with the only light being artificial from a scattering of light poles. We just want to mention, we are far from being professional videographers, so bear with us as we make mistakes along the way. Our main goal here is to show you the capabilities of this camera in real-world use by the average consumer. Anything we've missed in this video, we'll be sure to follow up with on future videos, especially since we just got this camera a day ago and have not had much time to fully explore the camera. So I'm going to talk about my first impressions of this, the pros and cons, just based on my limited usage of this camera so far. So the pros, the things I really do like about this is the fact that it's small. It's got the same sensor as the Action 5 Pro, which I have as well, but it comes in a much smaller form factor, which is something I really like. So whenever you want to film with this, it's more inconspicuous than the other larger cameras, and it doesn't alert people as much as it would on other cameras. So I like the fact that it has a very small form factor. I do like that it's got that DJI magnetic connect system, and it's compatible with all the older cameras as well as all their magnetic systems as well. So it's across the board, the DJI ecosystem, it's compatible, so it's cross-compatible with them all, which is very good. The fact that you can rotate this and easily film ahead of you or behind you, I really like that. It's just as simple as that. I also like the fact that you can, when you're filming with just the main camera unit separate from the vision dock, you can actually get a preview of what you're filming when you're looking somewhere. You don't have to be by the camera itself. You can actually frame it to make sure as they're separate, which is really nice. The other thing I do like about this is that another really big thing is that it's compatible with the DJI mics, the wireless mics. It's compatible with them all except for the first generation, and it connects very seamlessly. There's like zero lag, and the quality is very, very good. And we'll show you some of that, some of those samples later. But it connects instantaneously. Once it's connected to this, when you power it on and when you power it off and on, it probably takes like within like a second or two, it's already connected. So I really like that. Let's see. Yeah, those are the things I like about. I do like that the quality of the video is very good, and to me, when I compare this to other small cameras that I've had in the past, including the Action 2, the DJI Action 2, as well as like the Insta360 Go series, this is just so much better. I find that, this is basically equivalent to the Action 5 Pro, which has very good quality video. So I do like the fact that it's in a small form factor, has such good quality video, which you'll see here in a bit. And the price point, it's a lot cheaper than its equivalent, which is I don't have the Insta360 Go Ultra, but I've had all the other iterations in the past, and I've had disappointing experiences with all of them. Now the Ultra may be better than this, I don't know, I can't really say, but it does cost about $150 more than this one. So I say that gap is pretty big, and that plays a big factor in the pros for this camera. So one thing I did want to mention is that none of the other compact cameras like this, like the Insta360 Go series, or I don't even think the Ultra does this, but when you're connecting the wireless DJI mics to this, you don't have to have this docked to the vision dock. It actually will connect to the main camera unit itself. It'll continue to be wireless to the mic, and that I think is pretty cool. Okay, let me talk about a couple of the things I kind of noticed that I didn't really like about this. One of those things is that, first of all, although it is small and I do like its form factor, it is a little bit thick when it comes to the kind of the depth of it. So when you're hanging this on a magnet or anything like that, it will slop down, and you kind of can feel it, even if you put it on your hat. But I think that's at the cost of the battery size of this, and then the camera itself. It's such a good quality in the sensor. They have no choice but to increase the size of the camera. The other thing is I don't really like the fact that they put the DJI labeling like on the front in white right here. It kind of makes it stick out, and it makes it like people can see that. And the whole idea behind this is when you're filming, you just don't want people to just like know that you're filming all the time, and it just like surprises people. So I would have preferred the emblem of DJI to be on the side somewhere maybe, or just make this blacker a color. And then when you're filming, you'll have to kind of take notice. What I noticed is that at the higher settings, especially for filming like at 4K high frame rate, if you're filming outside on a hot day, I did notice that the camera got really hot in my hand, and it got almost to the point where you didn't really want to touch it. You almost felt like something was wrong with it. it didn't power off on me, but I did notice it. So you want to keep that in mind, that on really hot days or in the summertime when you're outside, when you're filming, this thing is going to get hot. And I don't know how much that affects the actual recording time, but I imagine it'll shorten that time, so you won't be able to film as long. So you got to just be mindful about that. And then the other thing that I noticed is that when you're connected to a wireless mic, when you're connected to it, the live view on the vision dock will turn off when you're connected. It won't do both. So unfortunately, that's kind of a bummer, because if you're like somewhere recording something, you can't really frame your shot, or you can't see when you have the wireless mic connected. As soon as you disconnect the wireless mic, you can watch again, it'll come back on. Or if you have it connected, it's fine. You can have the wireless mic and the live view at the same time, but just be aware that when you have the wireless mic on and you separate the two, the live view is no longer, will no longer work. Okay, so for my final score for this camera, for anyone who loves to just do quick shooting, is traveling, especially for travel or for vlogging, this thing is pretty damn good. The quality is really good, the video, everything about it is just, so far from my first impressions, I really like it. They could improve a couple of little things, like maybe the vision, the vision dock, the live view will come on. They can do a firmware update that'll fix that problem with the wireless mic when it's connected and you can't use the live view. I don't know, but I think over time, there's any little quirk that they have on this camera is going to improve with time. They just haven't gotten there yet. But for my first impressions overall, I would give this easily an 8 out of 10 rating. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions, comments, or want us to explore something specific, leave it all down below. And as always, be sure to hit that like button down below and consider subscribing to our channel.